flag terror attacks. Bill Gates, Henry Kissinger, New World Order mind control. Bank of America steal.
Okay, I'm just going to say something here. Chris, are you still there? The feed was lost, okay? It was not able to be saved, so we did a live show for those that were watching. Unfortunately, the second portion of it, when I stopped that feed, is gone. So, it is true. I was unable to save it. So I'm just going to put that song through because I guess they didn't like the song and they didn't like what we said once we started that feed again. I guess they wanted us to say what we said and not have any way of retrieving it. Sorry about that, folks.
Lehman Brothers, Goldman Sachs, false flag terror attacks.
Speak volumes to you know.
Yeah, exactly. We're targeted, Howard.
Stealing homes with cut and paste.
God bless you, Chris.
Police, state.
See you all next week.
FEMA camps, Mandarin, Monsanto rules the food supply while Big Pharma dopes your mind. Prison system, profiteers, foundations, fund the fears, fund the evil.
If you want to go overtime, I'll do it.
Yeah, I have no problem, man.
This just looks like we're going to just redo some stuff. We're just going to re-emphasize some of the things. Well, we talked about the Masons. See, it doesn't surprise me that we weren't able to save that. Unbelievable.
They want to make you a serf, a slave to their demand. They want to take your life in every way they can. Fluoride, GMO, vaccines, chemtrails, United Nations genocide. The world they show us is not real. This is how they kill and steal. Rothschild, Bundy, Rockefeller, Club of Rome. On the Georgia Guide, soldiers written in stone. Cut through the matrix, awaken to the lies. Do not be hypnotized. We are one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Greetings. I'm Howard Nima. And my co-host Christopher
Watch Truth Talk News Live, Fight the New World Order, Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on livestream.com/Truth Talk News.
A little bit of overtime here for you folks. Pretty pissed off about what just happened again. I mean, how much more angry can I get? Oh, my videos are going to be in the head. Let me stop this for a second, folks. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, at least I have the archives. I didn't lose the archives of the shows that we have, but it looks like they may have damaged my hard drive. Everything seems to be coming through in black and white. Have you noticed that, Chris? That the broadcast was in black and white? Not the Skype. I'm talking about the background images. Hey, I don't hear you. Are you muted?
Oh, I'm muted. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm talking for nothing. Thank God, because I said the F word a couple of times.
Well, I'm a little angry. Let's try to hold it to a minimum, but I mean, this is just like outrageous. It messes with your mind, man. It really does. It messes with my. See, when I'm really mad, sometimes I just get, I get flustered. I can't really. When I'm too angry or really upset, I can't really articulate what I'm trying to say. It's not like I'm good when I'm calm and cool and I can get out the information. When I'm angry, I just flustered, and I'm pissed off real bad today, real bad.
Yeah, no, it started off that way, Howard. And it's something that's going to be expected.
Yeah.
And I do my best work when they attack me because.
Well, let's just get back at them because I'm getting something to put up there. Let's go back over the things that they didn't like us to say, because they probably figured we're done now. Because I'm sure they're not monitoring this at this point, honestly, because they think we were just going to close the show. Maybe we'll have to do covert shows. Maybe we'll have to try to trick them because somebody is monitoring us, Chris.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Some evil New World Order minion, some scum, some heartless, soulless traitor of humanity, not just the United States and Canada, right?
Right. Spies in my mist, Howard. Spies in my mist.
Yeah.
Howard Hughes said it the best.
What did he say?
Spies in my mist.
Oh, spies in my mist. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he wasn't so paranoid after all, right?
No, not as paranoid as people would think.
Exactly. All right. Okay, so we were talking about the truth about the Masons really being behind this world government and the push for world government and controlling the world through the highest levels. And we know that in Washington, D.C., there is a Masonic temple, the grandest of all Masonic temples in the United States, just a few blocks from the White House and the Capitol.
Yep.
And it is a monument to Albert Pike, who founded the Ku Klux Klan and wrote a book called Morals and Dogma, which explains the Masonic doctrine that Lucifer is God. And the Masons believe that God was a cruel and vindictive God who cast Adam and Eve out of heaven, out of the Garden of Eden, unjustly, because they were depriving them of knowledge. So history doesn't say that. Christianity doesn't say that. Isn't that an interesting viewpoint, Chris? What is your thoughts on that viewpoint?
Well, these people, Howard, they don't worship the same type of gods that we do. Whether you're a Christian or a Muslim or a Buddhist. These people, they have their own god that they worship, and it's evil. And, we don't have to believe it, like we were saying before, but they do. And when you think that way and when you worship an entity who is so evil, well, how do you think these people are? They're just as evil. You have to be evil to worship something that's evil.
Right. So society didn't just become having movies like Saw and all of these Hostel and all of these really, really horrific glimpses into the way some people live, especially Hostel, right? The elite going there and torturing people. I mean, these places exist, ladies and gentlemen. Believe you me, there are some really sick, and the sex clubs and the other underground sex trafficking of children. Johnny Gosch and the Franklin scandal that came out, and they were having call boys in the White House in the 80s and through almost three administrations.
Yeah. I mean, look what Bush and Cheney did, with the O'Briens.
Well, yeah, it gets even worse than that. I mean, I have intelligence that was given to me in confidence by Barbara Hartwell, my close friend, and I'm not at liberty to say, but yeah, man, people really, really horrible things happened, and to people close to her, and she was never sexually abused, but people very close to her were, and she knows it. And it is all part of MK Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is how MK Ultra, I think, works with Project Bluebeam. They chemically and electroshocked people to wipe out their brains, and then program in these little things that now. That's primitive looking, because now we can just mind control people by using these technologies and projecting thoughts into their head. What about this guy who shot up the Navy Yard, who said he was hearing voices in his head and it was driving him nuts, and he had to leave the hotel, and he went to the police and told the police about it, but they didn't do anything?
Well, of course not, because the police themselves, most of them are idiots. Pardon my language there, but they're a bunch of morons. So they're not going to believe that. They're going to think you're crazy.
Right.
And then you got the other ones, the upper echelons of the police,
wouldn't let it happen.
Exactly. So there is no winning for these people. It's like the woman we were talking about on the Oprah Winfrey show who heard voices, to kill her kids. And then she did it, and she couldn't stop herself. You know, and Oprah was questioning her, making her feel, okay, yeah, she killed her kids, don't get me wrong, so, you know, she should feel bad. But, I mean, Oprah didn't pick up on the fact that, hey, maybe there's something behind this other than this woman being a nut job. You know, when I used to do Radio Howard on another radio station that I'm not going to name because they don't deserve to be named, we had a host on there that was a victim of MK Ultra. She didn't last long as a host because a couple of other people on the station started attacking the crap out of this lady. You know, calling her a fake and a fraud and a shill. You know, and this woman was crying on air. You know, so the rest of us came to her defense and we're like, how do you know this woman wasn't a victim of MK Ultra? And then, you know,
100,000 people plus on record in this country were mind controlled between 1953 and 1966 on record. And most of them were children. So guess what? They're adults now in our population, shooting up schoolyards like Bill Cooper exposed.
Mm-hmm.
There was in his book in 1991 that the plan was that they were going to have these attacking in schoolyards to get the guns away. In 1991. I've done videos on it. I've shown it. It's up there. It's another reason they don't like us.
Well, I want to touch on something here, Al Howard, because it's something that happened a few days ago. I'm not going to mention any names because, you know, I'm a little pissed off right now, right?
You are.
But when you brought up the Barbara Hartwell situation, I'm a little upset, you know, because there's somebody out there that likes to call people shills and because they don't agree with the person. But you know what? Barbara Hartwell is not a shill because she's put her life on the line to get the truth out to people, you know? And the same for people like Sherry Kane and Horowitz. You know, this person calling them a shill it really started to piss me off. Because you're calling these people shills without any evidence, without any proof.
Not to mention that they're not.
Exactly.
And everything that Dr. Leonard Horowitz has ever written, has ever put out, is verifiable, documented, and footnoted. I mean, this is not somebody that just, whips up some bullshit like Dr. Truott, and who lives in a mansion, and God knows where his money's coming from. He's a CIA COINTELPRO shill. That's what he is. He's a disinformation agent. Anyway, so we just obviously just keep doing what we're doing. We're doing the right thing because they're giving us resistance. I'm gaining, so much traffic that it's starting to we're talking about increases, and I'm not tooting our horn here, but 2 months ago I was getting 15,000 views a month. 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Now I'm up to 40,000 views a month. So yeah, it must have hit somebody on the radar, like it did the last spike I had when I had Fritz Springmeier on, who is another shill. Believe it or not. In fact, evidence will be put out very soon, ladies and gentlemen. We have physical evidence of false identification of aliases of Fritz Springmeier.
I could name another one, Howard.
Anthony J. Hilder.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah, that started the whole thing with me.
Yeah,
that's when they started targeting me when he was exposed on what was a radio show. Yeah, my radio show at that time, which was called We Are Change Connecticut, and of course. It's good to just sort of calm down a little bit. I'm trying this is a little better. We're just sort of broadcasting and talking, and there's so much stuff that the people don't know, and you don't, it's an elephant. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right?
That's right. And it's like the Illuminati. I like to classify them as a fish. Because the Illuminati are the all-seeing eye of all the other secret or non-so-secretive societies. Mm-hmm. And on that fish, you have multiple scales, which represent Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign Relations, World Health Organization, Skull and Bones. But in a way, they're all part of the Illuminati. And it's the people behind the curtains that we got to expose. I'm not saying we shouldn't expose Obama and the Clintons. No, they need to be exposed too. But we got to go after the people behind the curtains. We got to find who they are because we don't know who they are.
We know a lot of them who they are. Clearly,
yeah, not a lot of them though. It's not just the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. I mean, there are people.
Well, you look at all the people in the top levels of the Bilderberg, the steering committee, and the Bilderberg group. You got Etienne Davignon and